Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. I sure wasn't happy about hearing this. And to be honest with you, I kind of saw it coming. And I know many of you did too. As soon as I realized they had chose an all white jury, I knew. I knew what we were going to get. You know, that's the one thing I don't agree with. I do not agree with all white juries because of the history of all white juries. And America is not, I don't care what any of you races, alt right, or whatever the hell you are. I don't care what none of you say. America is not a white nation. It's never been a white nation, and it never will be a white nation. That's just wishful thinking on your part. When you have all white juries are not our peers. Okay, as long as white supremacy is practiced in the land, you could never be our peers. And number two, we know what the exoneration rate is in America. It's very high for what you call black men. So, y'all don't, not only do all white juries do very detrimental things to our people, they are also known for putting innocent people in jail, and they end up sitting there for decades because of all white juries. So no, as soon as I seen that, I had zero confidence that he would get a fair shake. And that all white jury has always been weaponized against us. So the verdict came in when I was on my last live with you, and it came back as guilty. You know, there's a reason why they won't show you the footage of what happened in that football stadium. There is footage of the fight, and the media in this country, and this is how you know something ain't right. They won't show that footage. You know why? Because it would clear Karmelo Anthony, and they don't want him cleared. They don't want him cleared. So, y'all, it's not the end. I'm sure the family will appeal this, and they should. Unfortunately, we're talking about Texas. All right. And, no matter how much you love Texas, their history, when it comes down to our folks in their court system, is not good. It's never been good. And, I really don't think his defense did a good enough job. And that might have been by design. I kind of wish he had a different set of lawyers fighting for him, but it is what it is. It must be a reason why the family went with the attorney they chose. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. So we're going to look at the verdict. We're going to look at people's reaction, and it's to be expected, you know. And yes, I did see Jason Whitlock. I just skipped over. I know what he's going to say. Jason, is a grifter, and he's going to say whatever he thinks white people wants to hear. So I saw his video out there and I skipped right over it. I don't even want to hear what he got to say. He's just going to say the usual grifter stuff. That's all. The family might not have approached Ben Crump, and you know, Ben Crump really is a personal injury attorney. He's the one that comes in after the case is resolved to get money for the family for their loss. That is the kind of attorney he is. He's really not a litigator, you know, like somebody that would fight, or a trial lawyer like that. Wow. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Well, Chud is so damn broke, he can't even get out of jail. That man ain't got no money, y'all. He don't have any money, because if he had money, he would have been out by now. Chud is broke. The only money he really truly has is the money that was raised, but the courts will not let him use that money to bail out. So he's pretty much stuck. That man don't have no money, y'all, because if he really did, he would have been out by now. He can't get out at all. He's literally stuck in there. And that serves his ass right. I do not feel bad for him. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Yes, it's very rigged. It's historically, their courts have always been rigged, always. And remember, there was a time when it was the law of the land that we weren't allowed to sue white people. We weren't allowed to take white people to court. They had that in written law. So no, it has never been fair for us in their courts. And all I got to say is, we're in the final days. Y'all got hell to pay for the way we've been treated up in these courts. That's all I got to say. All right. Thank you, y'all.
So at any moment, we will hear what that verdict is. Again, if you are just joining us right now, the jury started deliberating at 10:52 this morning. They reached a decision a little before 2. And so we were waiting for that verdict to be announced at 2:05. It is 2:32 right now. Sometimes, you know, these things take a while in terms of getting everybody into the courtroom, explaining the rules. Our Lori Brown telling us that any outburst, a person will be held in contempt. So just kind of, you know, letting them know what the rules are. Just so that, you know, they have rules in place and they want people to follow, you know, those rules.
It says here, Lori is telling us, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder. That is the verdict from the jurors, according to Lori Brown, who is in the courtroom.
Okay, we're hearing that first, guilty of murder. We are finding that out.
And I think Russell Wilson, with the brevity of this deliberation, I don't think that's a surprise to many people.
The defense called 3 witnesses to testify in the murder trial of Karmelo Anthony. 2 were minors, students who were present at the track meet that day in April 2025. Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of murder in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf after witnesses told police the 2 got into a physical confrontation. Anthony's defense team maintains he acted in self-defense. The first witness described the track culture to the court as more casual than football, and it wasn't unusual to talk to people on other teams. This witness also told the jury Anthony was crying and seemed distraught after the stabbing. The other student was asked by the prosecution to demonstrate the physical contact he saw between Metcalf and Anthony. The defense also called a Frisco police officer to the stand.
That testimony was very short. During that testimony, the detective simply said that he does not recall or did not recall whether or not there were any items in the deleted folder on Eddie Parra's phone. On cross-examination by the state of Texas, he was asked, "Did you thoroughly go through the phone?" Detective Riley said yes.
Bree West is a criminal defense attorney and former Dallas County prosecutor not involved in the case. Eddie Parra is a Memorial High School student who testified on Saturday that he was the person Anthony said hi to underneath the memorial tent. A few witnesses testified Parra took out his phone, seemingly to record a video, but there was no evidence found of a recording. Monday, after lunch, there was an unexpected 2-hour break that created a nervous energy in the hallway outside the courtroom. West says Anthony's legal team might have been discussing whether he should take the stand.
But you have to take into account, whenever you're asking your client to testify in their own defense, how are they going to come across? How are they going to be able to stand up on cross-examination from very seasoned prosecutors? Is their story going to get lost?
West believes the defense made the right call by not calling the now 19-year-old to testify in his own defense. When court resumed, the defense rested its case. Judge John Roach told the jurors to come back to court Tuesday morning with an overnight bag, just in case they need to be sequestered to a hotel during jury deliberations. Before the jurors left the courtroom, he made a point to tell the panel not to look at social media.
I think the judge was exactly right. Please, for the love of God, stay off of social media, because this particular trial, unlike many trials, is not live streamed or televised in any way, which leaves room for social media to make it up.
Monday, lawyers also discussed with the judge the charging document that will give instructions to the jurors. West says this is a point where the defense can ask for self-defense or a lesser charge of manslaughter to be considered in the instructions to the jurors.
All right, a lot of outlets are reporting that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder. The verdict has been officially read. He faces 5 to 99 years in prison because he was convicted of the crimes against him. As I said, the jury could have considered a lesser charge of manslaughter, but it is very obvious that they did not. And at the time of this video, like I said, he has been found guilty. This is a developing story, and I'll keep y'all updated as more information becomes available.
America is fucking racist, and we should all be in the uproar because they found Karmelo Anthony guilty when the trial itself shows and proves that the boy is not guilty of anything besides protecting his damn self. Let's go over some facts, okay? There was an all-European jury. That right there is not a fair jury and trial of your peers. He didn't have not a peer in that motherfucker. 9 witnesses testified, okay? And it came out that it's possibly a video that was passed around, yet they don't want the video showed because the video is going to show that Austin was the aggressor. Now, the friend that Karmelo Anthony was visiting under the tent is basically trying to act like he don't even know Karmelo, like he ain't know him like that, and he didn't invite him under the damn tent. Several people testified that Karmelo was under the tent first and that Austin was the aggressor. It was also stated that the incident went on for about 4 to 6 minutes of Austin bullying Karmelo for no reason. Karmelo never moved him from his seat. They was having a shoving war and he was sitting down, and then Austin came up on him and kind of like landed on the poker. Now, another crucial thing that we must acknowledge is that Austin's dad is friends with the judge that just was the judge on this trial. Like he's friends with this man, and you think a fair trial is happening? Y'all found this boy guilty of defending himself, but y'all let child go for point blank schmurder. I'm so sick of it.
So the verdict is in for Karmelo Anthony, and they just found him guilty. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not surprised. I knew that they was going to find him guilty. Black folks, ain't no need to coming up here making videos about it. It ain't no need. It's no need. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. But yeah, breaking news. Just then, another young black man life is being flushed down a toilet just for defending himself. And this is what I mean when I say being black in America. And it's okay for them to dehumanize us, for them to demean us, and it is even okay for them to harm us. That's the message that America is pretty much telling the world. So, yeah, that's it.
And it is official. The jury came back with a verdict very quickly, and Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder. They are saying that sentencing could actually begin right away since the jury came to a decision so quickly. It's being reported that attorney Mike Howard had his arm around Anthony, who seemed very tense, and he had his arm on him as if comforting him and showing support. And Austin's parents were pulled aside and reminded not to show any public emotion while the verdict is announced.
All right, guys, so I'm here to give you the verdict of the trial, and Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of M. We began to deliberate at 10:52 this morning, and they said it took them about 3 hours to deliberate. They just delivered the verdict, and he was found guilty. The jury rejected his self-defense claim. Now we will learn how long he will be serving in prison. Remember, I did mention to you that if it was M, it would be 5 to 99 years in prison. And if it was manslaughter, it would have been 2 to 20 years. Remember, M is basically he intended to cause grave bodily injury, or D, to Austin Metcalf. Manslaughter is basically saying he defended himself, but he didn't mean to M him. Manslaughter is more like he was being reckless. I will keep you updated with the exact amount of time. I believe next they call it the sentencing phase. So I'll be right back. I will keep you guys updated.
Karmelo Anthony case just came to a close and the verdict is guilty. Karmelo Anthony now faces anywhere between 5 to 99 years in prison for this. There is a crowd of people outside of the courtroom and the family is absolutely furious. There's word coming out from the courtroom that Karmelo visibly broke down and the family stormed out of the courtroom, and you can hear the screams and the crying, and it's just so fucking sad. My prayers are going out to this family, and my prayers go out to the Black community as a whole. Please, please, do not let these people invoke you, because we all know very well that's what they want. They want us upset, they want us angry, and they want us in the streets.
Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty on murder. So this just broke, literally less than a minute ago. So sentencing hasn't even happened yet. Outside the courthouse, there is a large police or security force ensuring that nothing too crazy happens, but we'll see. Just going to read you a quick basic story of what happened. So they're at a track meet. It was raining heavily with thunderstorms, so certain events were delayed. Kids from different teams were hanging out under teams' tents and shelters at the stadium. Karmelo Anthony was sitting under the Memorial High School team's tent. He wasn't on their team, so members of the Memorial team, including Austin Metcalf and his twin brother, told him to leave or move because it was their space. Words were exchanged. Anthony reportedly warned them something like, "Touch me and see what happens," while reaching into his backpack. Austin Metcalf pushed or shoved him. Accounts vary slightly on exactly how physical it got at first. Anthony then pulled out a knife and stabbed Austin once in the heart. Austin died from the wound, hit in a critical area, his heart. And Anthony ran off, but later turned himself into police. So again, Karmelo Anthony has just been found guilty on murder. Click that follow button to stay up to date with what you need to know. And don't forget, I have a free email newsletter. I send that out every morning around 7 a.m. Central. The link is in my profile. Just click that link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
All right, y'all. So this is the most recent update, and I know there's going to be more. And like I said, I'm looking for them to appeal this. And his lawyer need to find a way to get the video released. The media in this country, we know they are in cahoots with the police. We know they are. They're never on our side when it comes down to these court cases. Never. And I just hope the family, I know this is a tough thing, but they're going to have to try to see if, you know, you got to appeal it because it doesn't make sense that he's convicted. But an all white jury, no, they're not going to even see him as human. So, boy, this has really been crappy. First, Rick Chow gets away with unaliving a child, and now this. And these folks want to know why, when they're on these videos talking about we need to come together, no, we actually don't. No, we don't. Mm-mm. We can come together when things are fair in America, but all this one group of people can go to court and get whatever, and when we show up, we're denied everything. No, I'm not joining none of you other groups. Not now, not ever. Yeah, the twin didn't testify, and the three witnesses that testified, y'all, they gave different accounts. They weren't even unified in their testimony. So, I mean, this whole thing is ridiculous, but it's what I expected. As soon as I heard last week it was an all white jury, I knew exactly what direction this whole thing was going in. I knew. I knew, and I know many of you knew the same. Mhm. Yeah, well, and it just goes to show you. That's why when I listen to them and they talk about, well, things have changed. It mess ain't changed that damn much. You ain't changed that much. 100 years ago, we did not get a fair shake in court, and 100 years later, we still don't get a fair shake in the courts. So, so you ain't changed that much. You are truly your forefathers, just in a different era. hmm Yeah, we're never going to get real judgment. It's going to have to come from the Most High because we're not going to get any real justice in this Gentile world. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I kind of had to put this together at the last minute. And, this is weighing heavy on me because I did not want to hear this. I just didn't. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much. And I want to thank John L. Pew Pew, our kids in the back, not guilty. Our kid defends themselves from harm and is found guilty of we are truly on our own. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. There is no one with us. And there's no group with us either. I don't even look to other groups to ally with. I couldn't ally with them anyway, y'all, because I will never trust them. I can't trust any. They're Gentiles. I can never trust them. Never. Madison Mosley, 45, thank you for the super sticker and your support for my channel. Thank you so much. So y'all, yeah, it does hurt, Nene. It does. So, um, hold on. Got one more. Descendants of Greatness. Thank you for the super chat. I was at jury selection for young Black teen who assaulted and stole a phone from a person in a wheelchair. Prosecutor said jury could jail him 5 to 99 years. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, if it's us, yeah, that's true. But thank you for your support for my channel. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to us, they want to make sure we get the longest possible sentence, and the punishment don't even fit the crime. That's usually the norm. Yeah. So y'all have a wonderful evening and be on the lookout for my lives, and don't forget to pick up your hair products. Shalom, family.